Hello my friends. Today I have another very exciting speedrun to showcase. We are playing Super Mario 64 Dark Edition once again. Not blindfolded, but with eyes. Just Mario is kind of blindfolded, the entire world is black in this ROM hack. As you can see already right here in the intro, there are no textures. Basically what Dark Edition is, it's a ROM hack I made a few weeks ago that removes all the main textures of the levels and the environment, but keeps textures like, for example, coins, enemies, and stars. So you can have visual you have like visual cues that you can use for setups and for strategies for the speedrun, and that makes it not as difficult as like pure blindfolded speedrunning. But it's kind of like a light entry into like blindfolded, because you can still use both blindfolded and visual strats. It's a very interesting concept. Anyways, we are doing 70 star today, and you can see right now here in the beginning, lucky to skip. Will we get it? We do the blindfolded setup. Easy peasy, super consistent these days. Lucky to skip, we do a very, very unique lucky to skip there. In visual speedruns, you would see speedrunners just long jumping onto the side of the bridge and then long jumping again to get across, but in blindfolded we actually do a different setup, as you could see there, with like a jump dive and positioning ourselves with the fence. So 70 star had a big new route change recently in Dark Edition. I've been grinding this now for a couple of weeks, and as you can see on the splits, my PB is a 118, I think, and yeah. This specific run had a route change. We are doing now BOB 3 stars in the beginning, which is the king, the Koopa race, and behind the chain jumps gate, because that allows us to later on open the cannon in the stage and get 2 additional stars basically for free, which is the 2 stars requiring the wing cap. And those 2 stars are very fast. Even though the king and the Koopa fight are very slow, it still equals each other out and is a faster route in general. What we skip instead of these stars is all the stars requiring the vanish cap, so we do not get the vanish cap switch in this new route here. So very different from blindfolded in that regard. There is one more thing I will probably change in the future if I run this, which is the Koopa race. Because you can actually open the cannon also without doing the Koopa race star, and the Koopa race star is rather slow. It's like one of the slowest star in the entire run right now. So we are not really required to do this. I just did this out of like muscle memory, because in blindfolded I combined the Koopa race with the Bobomb opening the cannon here. But it is not necessary for the speedrun, which, yeah. In Dark Edition especially, since we have visual cues, we can easily substitute this star with a faster one. Either like in DDD we get a chest star, not the chest star, but like the jet stream star, or we even learn like pillarless. Learning pillarless would increase the runtime also by a lot. Pillarless is definitely doable in Dark Edition. It's not even much harder because there's lots of visual cues. Just, I am not very good at it myself, that's why I haven't done it in runs yet.
As long as we win the Koopa race, we should not lose now.
But yeah, this is the Koopa race. As you can see, very slow. The time is already at like 1 minute, then we still need to wait for the Koopa. It's like a 1 minute, 40-second star, combined with all the cutscenes of the Bobomb opening the cannon, with the waiting time.
Okay.
So, really, really slow. I definitely will cut this star out next time I do a run. But, yeah. Basically, that's the big new route change. We do BOB 4 more stars, which is the king, the Koopa race, the secrets in the sky, and wing cap. And instead of that, we skip vanish cap reds, BBH vanish cap, DDD vanish cap, and there was another vanish cap star I probably missed now. But yeah, that's basically the new route I wanted to quickly present. And now we are gonna go ahead and do bomb clip. Will we hit it is the big question. Bomb clip always risky, always a fan favorite right here. I did a blindfolded setup with the fence normalization. And, oh, looking good, looking good. Oh, clean bomb clip, ladies and gentlemen. Can I get an applause here? Very, very clean. I was a gold by a few seconds also. I just see. Pretty nice, pretty nice. And yeah, after... I always bonk here. I need to really learn this strategy. Like, you can wall kick into Mario Cam and then like dive right here to the slide, but I always, every single time, bonk there, which is very unfortunate. Slide is also a very interesting star. There are 2 stars, of course, for those who know. One for getting the slide done fast and one for just completing the slide. And here I accidentally messed up my inputs, so I think I will die here. Yep, my setup didn't work. I used the blindfolded setup for the slide, but I accidentally, instead of long jumped, I did a slide kick, which messed up my timing. So that's kind of unfortunate. That's a big time loss actually. That's like 40 seconds of time loss. So as you can see, it definitely can still be improved, this run. But I'm very happy with it actually, but we'll come to that later. Here's the cool blindfolded strat. Slide kick, roll out onto the side of the slide here to get the like very fast angle change, and then we finish the slide in 13.5. I think a standard time is 13.4 actually. So 1 millisecond, but whatever. Yeah, but we lost lots of time unfortunately because of the 1 death. Now we only do 1 slide star because we're gonna do the second one after Worm's Fortress. Worm's Fortress is interesting and very different than in Blindfolded 2. In Worm's Fortress we are gonna do all 7 stars, which includes 100 coins, and 100 coins is scary. It's one of the most scary stars in the entire run. I think I will start with it in this run actually. Yep. So I instantly missed a coin there. That's not super good. There are always backup coins at the end, but it's good to have as many coins as you can, because later on you can lose some time if you don't have enough. But yeah, here comes a very difficult wall kick. I get it first try, that's very good. It's very hard to judge where the wall is here in Dark Edition. And this is also... here I get stuck at the pillar, unfortunately. I need to go around. You can back this up easily by getting here onto the side and silly kicking up the slope. And then doing a jump dive at the end. Here, for this is a cycle I need to catch. And you can see there's this tree in the background. And I estimated the position of the rotating platform by seeing when the tree is covered by the shadow of the platform. There was like a tiny friction of second in which you don't see the tree anymore. And this is exactly when you need to jump for the platform. Here again, very very tricky wall kick. I keep bonking. Wall kicks are extremely hard in Dark Edition, I can only say that much. It's so hard to judge sometimes where you need to press A at the wall. But yeah, pretty solid 100 coins. It had many hiccups, many tiny hiccups, so definitely can be improved, but I have seen worse for sure myself from me. So I'm actually pretty okay with this. And now you can see I'm missing 2 coins. And that's why I have to go up here and get the 5 backups. But yeah, it's not a big deal. 2 coins is not much at all. I think I will change the route here too. I think I'll get the last 5 in the very beginning.
Wasn't too bad though.
But that might mess up my cycles with the rotating platform. I will need to see about that.
I look at the tree, Nico. There's a
Next
tree in the
up
distance.
is all the classical stuff like Cannonless, Into the Wild Blue, Tower, the boss. Cannonless, very, very infamous. I do the blindfolded strat, which I really hate. The blindfolded strat is like my worst enemy. As soon as I go back to blindfolded SM64, this is the first star I'm gonna reroute because I hate this strat so much. It's just not consistent enough. Like the Cannonless setup itself, like here on the plank, is good, but the setup to get here, this long jump across the slope, is extremely bad. And that's a very clean Cannonless, fortunately. Next up, we're gonna do Into the Wild Blue, as far as I know. Into the Wild Blue, very easy star, but again, there is one wall kick that you need to hit, and wall kicks are very difficult in this version of the game. Let's see how it goes here. This initial movement here is straight out of the blindfolded route. Oh, hit the wall kick perfectly. Very, very clean star. Very clean, very fast. I like it. Next up, we're gonna do the Womp's King, the boss fight, which I do the blindfolded strat for. You can do a visual strat for this, which is a tiny bit faster, but it requires a wall kick, so I'm just avoiding it. It's only like 2 seconds slower, my strat, I think, and the 2 seconds don't matter. Like, you can do the triple jump wall kick to the red coin platform where you do Owless, or you take the warp and do the triple jump dive here. It's like, it barely loses any time. And now we just kill the boss a bit. There's not much to say. I always try to align myself for where the star will spawn. I do the blindfolded strat for that, so I should be kind of inside the star. Let's see how it works. A tiny bit too far down. It's very hard to judge. Even blindfolded, you don't hit it always, but you get close enough. Next up is the Womp's Tower Star, which I have seen is probably one of the hardest stars for casual players of this ROM hack. I do just my straight out blindfolded strat. I do nothing. I could do the exact same star and movements without looking at all. But I've seen people who have speedrun and played this game casually struggle a lot with the star because the entire tower is dark and it's very hard to judge where these platforms are, where you need to wall kick. So I've seen lots of struggles here, which, yeah, it is a difficult star for sure. Cannot deny it. Now the last star that we're gonna get in this speedrun is the Owl. Owl, you can either do Owless or taking the Owl. I take the Owl just for consistency's sake. Owless is doable. It's not even that difficult, honestly, but just not worth the hassle of resetting if you don't hit it, in my opinion. The game is not optimized enough to go for such strats. Very similar to Pillarless, etc. Especially for like people like me who don't have this visual speedrun experience much, that I would need to go ahead and actually grind and learn this trick that saves like a tiny bit of time. So for me, I'd rather stick to the blindfolded consistent strats. That was Womp's Fortress though. We got a very big gold, 40 seconds, mostly because of the 100 coin star. The 100 coin star was pretty clean. It went much worse in all my previous attempts. Second slide star is exactly the same as the first one. We're just gonna do the slide kick strat. It's a beat count here that we use for knowing what camera presses to do, and then we're gonna roll out onto the slide and slide down. Will it be a 13.4? No, 13.5 again. It's okay. And then we get the box. Kind of missed it there, but oh well. The next star we're gonna get is Wingcap Reds, actually. Wingcap Reds is, well, doable in Dark Edition, rather easily doable, fortunately. For those who are not familiar, this is the hardest star in the entire blindfolded 120 star run. Just barely missed the first coins there. It's no problem though, we can get them later. In Dark Edition, you can actually see the coins, so this star is like 1 billion times easier than in blindfolded. This is probably the star with the biggest, easier, harder difference between blindfolded and Dark Edition. So yeah, very fast, very easy star. We can just quickly grab it here and activate the wing cap at the same time. So it's kind of you get double value from this. And then with the new wing cap, we can actually do the new route in BOB that I was talking about earlier. We can now return to BOB and get 2 additional stars, the secrets in the sky and the island. You could, in theory, do island hop without the wing cap, but if we anyways need to open the cannon for the secrets, then it is not worth it at all. So we are gonna go ahead and first do the... Actually, I don't have a fixed order here. I guess I just see which strat works out better, because you would see what I mean. When going to the island, I have a very specific strat that I use also in blindfolded, where I, like right here, I try to set up a pitch of Mario by sliding perfectly onto the island. Here I missed it, and if I miss it, I just go for the box, basically. That's like the easy, fast backup. It loses like 5 seconds compared to the optimal strat. 5 milliseconds, it's super nothing. So we get the island, and then we try again to get the correct angle. In Dark Edition, it's not bad if you miss both of these, because you can easily set it up with a visual cue. For Blindfolded, if you don't get this set up, then it's over, basically. But yeah, we're gonna do the same movement again. Get into the cannon, dodge this ball, and then set up our pitch, hopefully perfectly. We want to basically clip into the floor here, like this, so we can slide. And this sets up a perfect angle for Mario, that you can just shoot neutral and get all 5 secrets in one go. From, like, you need to go a bit down here to the coin. And as you can see here, perfectly going through all the secrets.
Oh my god, okay, 3 times save for next time, I guess.
And Mr. Star, classic. In Dark Edition, it's super difficult sometimes to have like good depth perception. It's super hard, in my opinion, to see like, am I behind the star? Am I in front of the star? How far is it away? Just because all the textures are so dark. I find it very interesting how that is like such a big struggle in the speedrun.
Yeah, we can definitely save.
Next stage we're gonna do is CCM, Cool Mountain, and we're gonna get 3 stars. The penguin, the slide, and wall kicks will work. The penguin is pretty straightforward. I do the blindfolded strat here. I got a bad pattern of the penguin, so I back it up with the slide. It's the exact same thing I would do in blindfolded as well. If the penguin does not cooperate, you switch back to the slide star, even if it's a bit slower, because you first jump up there and not directly into the slide. But yeah, it's one of the best backups you can do. The problem is, if the penguin does not cooperate, you can still do it in Dark Edition because you have visual cues, of course. But it can get really nasty and tricky, because if you don't hit the slope correctly in the beginning, you will like fall down and the penguin will kind of drop and you don't know where you are, and then it can get really bad really fast. So I just take the tiny time loss and do slide instead and retry now in the second attempt. Here the penguin cooperates, I catch him perfectly, and now I can do my strategy. Sliding down the hill, sliding down the second hill, and then just bouncing right to the mama penguin. Wah. There we go. Also, this hack is based on the English version of SM64. That means the star here spawns in front of the penguin, not above it. This is one of the few version differences for those who don't know. In the Japanese version of SM64, the star actually spawns right above the head of the penguin. It's a different star placement. Now, wall kicks will work is probably one of the hardest stars for both casual players and blindfolded players, because as you can see nothing. This star is completely dark, and I got it perfectly here, very clean. I just do a full beat count from the beginning to the stage to the star. It's basically one big count without pause. Now, Dark World is the first Bowser stage we are gonna tackle.
No, I messed up.
And Dark World is, I think, definitely the easiest of all Bowser stages. Yeah, definitely. Dark World is kind of a nice entry into, because all Bowser stages are difficult. Especially red coin stars, but we are not even gonna do them. We are just running through the stage. I fail here to get up the slope. I accidentally kick it. Kick it again. Oh my god, this is not looking good. But yeah, here finding the elevator can be tricky too, because you need to kind of know how to traverse there. This section is extremely dark. For those who don't know the layout well enough, this might be very deadly and lethal. But I have played this game countless of times, so I know the layout by heart. And then here you can basically use the coins to adjust yourself where you need to go. You don't need to do any crazy setup with counting or so. You can just use the coins as an indication. And that's Dark World. Very fast stage, actually. Pretty clean. One of the major differences between Blindfolded and Dark Edition is that you can actually spin and throw Bowser. Like, you can grab Bowser's tail, spin it, and yeet him way too far and not hit the bomb.
I don't know. I feel so.
I am very, very famous for throwing the easy Bowser throws way too hard, and you're missing like that. So that's kind of a insider joke right here. I would say I did this on purpose just to please the fans, but that would be a lie. I really am just that bad. So yeah, that was Dark World, and we are done with the lobby part of SM64, which is nice. 18 stars, still quite a lot to go. 70 stars is definitely a whole different beast than 16 star. It's much more content, much more stars that you have to get. And now we are gonna proceed to BBH. Don't get fooled by my splits. Because of the new route change, I wanted to make new splits and I forgot to include BBH by accident, so my splits will be a bit messed up. But we are gonna do BBH, and we are getting 5 stars, if I recall correctly. We get everything. We get 4 stars. We get everything besides 100 coins, red coins, and the Vanish Cap star. First, we're gonna start with Ghost Hunt. Ghost Hunt is good as a first star because it raises the staircase in the main entrance of the stage, and we can use that staircase later on for both backups and setups. So we just cruise in here through the house. BBH is a very nice stage for Dark Edition because all the doors are visible, and because of the doors, you can very easily locate where you are, in my opinion. So it's a very beginner-friendly stage, I would say. Compared to other stages, definitely one of the easier ones. The chair is coming right onto me, but I did a crazy cool backflip to dodge it. I don't know if you saw that. That was really cool. And now we have killed all the tiny boos. Now we kill the big one. 3 hits. I'm gonna attempt the side flip wall kick here. I always fail it and lose time, but you gotta do swag. Yep, failed it once, failed it twice. Want to just go now. Losing a lot of time. Oh my god, ledge grabbing every single stair. Oh man. SM64 is something else sometimes, but that was Ghost Hunt. Now we have, I don't know which star I'm gonna go next. I think I'm gonna do the boss on top of the rooftop.
There's no excuse. It's not even the game. I just play
We have to do either that or merry-go-round or the library star. Those are the stars that we have left. I go the left door, so I will go to the balcony with the rooftop ghost. Here we do blindfolded threads, double long jump, wall kick, firsty, or like not firsty necessarily, but wall kick into dive. It's a very fast and unique way to get up there. Shoutouts to nobody for finding that. And then we kill the ghost here, easy peasy. And here it's kind of scary in Dark Edition if you don't know what you do, because you don't know where the roof ends. So it's very easy to fall down, but I have a blindfolded normalization here in the corner where I do like a backflip setup, and I perfectly know where I am. That is definitely helping out with this star. It's super interesting in my opinion, because many of these stars have like these tiny quirks that just, if you know the blindfolded strat, it gets so much more consistent and so much better. Like, I'm very sure many of these stars that I do here in the speedrun, you could do them way faster in this game, just if you have lots of visual knowledge or visual speedrun experience. I personally don't have that much of it, so I rely on blindfolded strats rather, and it just shows in my consistency rather than in my speed. But consistency is a big aspect of speedrunning too, which is, well, great that I have it, I guess. But yeah, we do merry-go-round next. Very easy star too, nothing really to worry about. You can see the ghosts, so you don't even need to worry about like finding them or not finding them. It's a very straightforward star, there's not much to tell about it. The next star we're gonna get is Library, the last one in BBH. Library is very famous as like one of the easiest stars in the game. It's probably, if you start running 120 star or 70 star for the first time in your life, probably 70 star you're gonna start. But basically, as a beginner of Super Mario 64, you will probably learn this star here rather early on in your career, just because it's so short and like it teaches you double jump kicks and like, yeah, it's just pretty straightforward. It skips also lots of the casual strat, so if you want to do the star casually, you take much longer because you have to walk through this weird library maze there. And that's BBH. BBH is done.
Oh, I forgot to add the split Eva.
Now we're gonna move on to basement, where we do SSL first. But before that, we're gonna get the MIPS star, of course. MIPS in this version of the game is unfortunately broken. When I made this ROM hack, because of my lack of knowledge of like hacking, this was my very first ROM hack I made. So MIPS is not moving. Don't ask me why, but I broke him. He didn't want to see the misery, I guess. Yeah, if any experienced ROM hacker wants to fix it at one point, we can make an update together if you want. Or like you can make an update, I don't know how. The offer is standing, just saying. But honestly, it does not affect the speedrun much. Like, you catch MIPS anyways, here or there, it doesn't really make any difference. SSL, we're gonna do the fly guy bounce, but I got a bad pattern here. The fly guy chased me, and now I try to back it up. I will back it up. Nope, I will back it up actually with the Talon star, so I'm gonna run here to the other pillar, quickly grump onto the bird, and then get the star. Like... I would usually do the visual strat in which you bounce on the fly guy and then hit the bird like in the spinning animation. But yeah. Sometimes life is like that. You cannot get everything right. Next star we're gonna get is actually the star that you get with Pillarless, which is the top star of the pyramid. But since I don't really know how to do Pillarless, I have not really practiced it. I know how to do it, but I'm not very good at it. I don't do Pillarless, but rather use the shell. It's very fast too. It is like still a 40-second star, so very, very decent. And you can kind of see the pillars based on the quicksand animations, so you can rather judge where you are and where you need to go. And then you just silly kick up here. And like you can see the entrance based on the star. Like if you just see the star spinning on top of the pyramid, you kind of just go like straight from it and you hit the hole. Last star we get is exactly the one that I just said, like the top of the pyramid star, but outside. And for this we do a triple jump dive with a new strat that I found. Also probably gonna use for Blindfolded. I found a very, very cool approach here. I need to work it out still, but that's actually a very interesting part, because I found many new strats for Blindfolded speedrunning while routing and practicing 70 star in Dark Edition, which is super cool. I'm super excited. Like, I found so many tiny optimizations that I can probably implement also in Blindfolded. I'm really excited. Like, this whole project of doing Dark Edition, creating Dark Edition to get people into Blindfolded speedrunning had the nice side effect that even for experienced Blindfolded runners, it still had value, which is like so cool. Anyways, we got the Toad Star, and now we're gonna move on to HMC. HMC we're gonna use log cam strats, just like in Blindfolded, just to make left side here very free and easy. Like, it's a wall kick, you need to time it, but I know the timing by heart because I do this star like every day in my life. And the log cam also allows us to get some easier setups for later on for the other stars.
Ultra good luck is always nice.
In HMC we get 5, like everything besides 100 coins and reds, because all the stars are rather fast. You could... no, you cannot... Wow, I actually was thinking you could implement the HMC BLJ for Toxic Maze, but it would in fact not be faster. Or it would in fact be faster, but it would be banned because it's 70 star. You are not allowed to BLJ, I just realized.
Yes,
this was Rolling Rocks. There's really nothing to say for Rolling Rocks. It's literally the same star in Blindfolded, in Visual, in Dark Edition, everywhere. You just go there, go past the boulders and jump up.
A Christmas miracle.
Quickly had to take a sip of tea. And now we are gonna do... I assume we're gonna do Nessie first. slid down there a bit. My setup didn't work correctly with the lock cam. No, we're gonna do Christmas Miracle first. I did a pause buffer strat just because I'm more comfortable with it. You can easily set up this triple jump wall kick. But yeah, I was not high enough from the wall kick. I got a very late frame. That's why it didn't work with the switch. Thankfully, you can easily back it up. And then here, you just long jump to the star. I saw many casual players die in this room because they didn't know where exactly the pits are. But that's kind of tricky, I have to say. Like, you kind of have to know where the pits are. And yeah, it's fun to see like where... I had a lot of fun. I have to say I had a lot of fun seeing all the different streamers and speedrunners play this game. Because I like many streamers tried it out, like got a few stars at least, or like did a, I don't know, 50-star run or like 30-star run, some even a 70-star run, and I found it so interesting to see the approaches of the individual people to like different stars, because some of the stars that I considered very easy were extremely difficult for them, and some of the stars I considered hard were extremely easy. Wait, did I say twice the same? You know what I mean. Like, basically, very, very interesting approaches of various kind of individuals, and I think that is very, very interesting and cool to see. But yeah, we get the last star now, which is Toxic Maze. Here you need to do a wall kick timed. I messed it up, but we have a setup here with a double jump. Toxic Maze is a rather... I think it's definitely the longest star in HMC. You basically just have to do it like casually. You go through the doors here, you go through the maze. Here, finding the door for this maze is extremely difficult in my opinion. I always fail it. I should just switch to my blindfolded strat. Because as you can see, it's completely dark and you have to kind of just like double jump to find the door and then ledge grab there. But if I would do just my blindfolded strat, I would lose some time with the setup, but then finding the door would be no problem, so I would save time with that.
I definitely want to improve it soon.
And then we just grab the star. That's HMC.
2317, okay.
And now we are, according to the splits, going to Vanish Cap, but as I said, we had the big route change, so we skip all of this now. We go straight to DDD. We are not required to get the Vanish Cap anymore in this route. So we just go to DDD, and then we are done with basement. We later come back one more time here after 50 stars, because as soon as you reach 50 power stars, MIPS appears again and gives you another 3-star, which is very, very nice for speedrunning. Just quick star grab. And an easy one on top of that. Diadox though, we get 3 stars. Right here, we first get the chests. Swimming in Dark Edition is also, in my opinion, very hard. Not because of like the movement, but what I said earlier, depth perception. Like, it's so hard sometimes to judge if you're swimming too far or like not far enough. But here I hit all the chests very, very nicely. I usually struggle a lot with the star for some reason. And yeah, here I missed it because I misjudged how far the chest is away. And here we get it, and that was a very, very clean chest star.
Katze, what's up?
Now, the next star we're gonna get is the classic Diadox submarine, which you need to open Fire Sea. If you don't get the star, you are not able to proceed the game story further. That's why, for those who don't know, that's why you also have 0 and 1 star as categories. That's why also 16 star is 16 star and not 15 star. Because in theory you only need 15 stars to spawn MIPS and clip through the door, but you cannot skip this star here in Diadox because otherwise Fire Sea will never open. And yeah, submarine here is the nice tunnel with the arrows. I really like the fact that these arrows show actually, because it helps so much in navigating this tunnel. It could be very... Swimming in complete darkness sounds and is scary. Here we need to find now the fin, and we're gonna do back sub. I messed it up here. I'm not far enough yet.
This is very bad, dude.
So I kind of have to find the fin on feel. Here I could see the rings in the water, that's why I knew I am actually not far enough. And then here I know where I am. Unfortunately jumped too far with an angle, slid down, and then have to really closely back it up with the slow walk. Very, very scuffed star. I think this will not work either. Yep. This was too close to the wall. I need to have like a tiny bit of distance to the wall to make my strat work. Very, very scuffed. I lost quite a bit of time here with this star. But yeah, it's basically the blindfolded strat that we do here.
I'm super interested in...
And now the last star we're gonna get in Dire Dogs is the infamous, the very infamous Manta Ray. Now the Manta Ray spawns these rings and you have to swim through 5 of them like in order, but the hitboxes of these rings are extremely jank. The hitboxes are not in the middle of these rings as you might estimate. They are like very, very different, and because of a programming error. Here, this was very clean, this was perfect. I've never got such a clean Manta Ray in my life, probably. But I have lost multiple minutes to this star in previous attempts, so very happy that this worked out well. Now, very, very interesting stage, and probably one of the hardest parts of the entire run, Fire Sea. In Fire Sea, I use 100% the blindfolded strat. I do not rely on visuals at all. This is mainly because in the middle of Fire Sea there is this big moving platform that goes up and down to bring you to the next stage, and you cannot see it, so you kind of need to know which cycle it is on, if it's up or down, and I do that with keeping track of the music. So I just literally do my blindfolded strat here. We're gonna do lava boost, get up on the platform, get up to a specific point, and then wait, long jump, backflip, and then we are up there. Perfect. If you do this casually, this is probably gonna be one of the most frustrating and hard sections, but I can just say this much, there are ways to check which height the elevator is. You can either check it with shadows and like the lava texture, or you can silly kick and see how long Mario's falling animation takes. Like if he kicks and instantly is still on the platform, it means it's rising. If Mario kicks and is like tiny bit airborne, it means this platform is falling down. So there are ways. I just highly recommend you to check this stage out before you want to do like a casual run or like a speed run, because this needs practice for sure. Yeah, Bowser we could again throw, thankfully. Also we had 35 stars, halfway done. Very, very nice. It's very cool that Fire Sea is exactly halfway. It's kind of cool in my opinion. It's just nerd facts. And now we go to upstairs. We're gonna do our favorite stages. Wet Dry World, THI, TTM, SL. Everyone loves them, right? And we're gonna start with Wet Dry. Wet Dry World is still... It's not the best out of them, honestly. Wet Dry World also is bad. All of these stages are very bad. Wet Dry World is scary in the sense that you can mess up a setup and then have to back it up really, really in a scuffed way. We're gonna get 4 stars here. We're gonna do the secret star first, which you have to push this block, push another block, and then get like secrets. I mostly use a blindfolded strat for this. Like, I do the same strat kind of blindfolded. There is one very, very scary part with this star. I didn't get the full long jump here. Here I need a wall kick. I didn't get the wall kick. Now I got the wall kick. And here is a very, very precise wall kick. This wall kick needs maximum height, otherwise you will not reach the top part. This was not maximum height. And now I tried to do it again. I lose a bit of time here. Again, not maximum height. Oh, I'm fading this wall kick a lot. Loses lots of time. There we go, this was a maximum height wall kick. Now the very scary part about this star is the very ending, because you need to long jump from the last secret towards the platform with the star. And visual speedrunners do this also with like a crazy long jump setup. But the problem is, if you mess this up in Dark Edition, I use a beat count here like in Blindfolded, perfect. If you mess this up, there is basically no way to back this up. The run is literally dead, which is very scary. You can probably back it up somehow. You have to like, you have to probably like raise the water and stuff. So it's gonna lose either way a lot of time if it is if it is like rescuable at all. Now we're gonna do the elevator star, and here was a big mistake. I don't know if you noticed. I will let you guess for a second what mistake I made. So we're gonna go here, activate the elevator, and then fall down. And here is the mistake. I did not open the box beforehand, so I need to now punch it, and now I have barely enough time to get back on the platform. But I thankfully made it. If I was blindfolded, the run would be dead, straight out. That's the one thing that is good about Dark Edition, in comparison to Blindfolded SM64. In Blindfolded SM64, if you make one mistake, the run is over. There is very, very little chance that like many mistakes that you make in the run are fatal. There is basically no backup for it, or you take like the L and just lose 1 or 2 minutes. So a tiny mistake in Blindfolded loses lots of time, where in Dark Edition you have a much better chance to back it up in a fast manner. For example, right here, I messed up the initial platform, but since I can locate the enemies and I can locate like where I am in the world, I can just go back here to the corner that I used for the secrets, do the maximum height wall kick, and now I'm back up here. I could not do this blindfolded just because I did not have these tiny visual cues. And I think that's a big part that you need to consider if you want to run blindfolded. Blindfolded is just unforgiving and extremely brutal in that sense. Every tiny mistake is so huge. And for speedrunning especially, you basically need to go for perfection. It's a big difference between visual. But yeah, that's Wetray World. We get one more star here, the one where you just teleport and get the box. I think it's called Shocking Arrow Lift. So we just go here to the thing, teleport. How I find this teleport is with a basically you just do 2 long jumps and hold up, and then wiggle a tiny bit up left. That's also the blindfolded strat.
Just being good at visual speedruns helps.
And yeah, this was Wet Dry World. Next up, we are going to go to THI, Tiny Huge Island, and we are gonna get 3 stars as far as I remember there, which is the secret star, the top of the mountain star, and the plants. We're gonna start with the top star, in which I have actually found a new strat that I can also apply in blindfolded speedruns, which is really exciting. So we mostly do the blindfolded movement here in this star. You can see me do this setup of side flips, etc. to get here. And now comes the new strat. We're gonna ledge grab here. This is old. And the ending here, in blindfolded we used to do some like backflips, but you can actually just like triple jump up here to the box, and this movement, even though it looks scary, is 100% viable in blindfolded speedruns, saving us around like 10 to 15 seconds, which is huge. So another instance of Dark Edition actually helping us out to find new strats in blindfolded speedruns, which is really cool. The second star we're gonna grab is Secrets. Secrets is 90% same as in blindfolded. There's not really any difference because we need to do the setups as the stage is so dark and you can get lost so easily. You can fall down, you can take damage, you can get into the water. There's just so much that can go wrong. So we rely mostly here on the blindfolded strat. You can see me here aligning in the corner, doing the kick. This is all known from 70 star blindfolded. If you want to do this star casually, it is also possible. I think Secrets is one of the stars that you can feel your way out, kinda. But it is definitely one of the scarier ones, especially this jump. If you don't know how to correctly time this jump right here to the platform, then it can get really scary. I use a beat count for that. But yeah, I am a blindfolded runner, so it's a bit of a different story, I guess. Anyways, last star in THI is the plants. The plants, there's not much to say, honestly. It's a very easy star in visual speedruns. In blindfolded, it's a bit more difficult, but in Dark Edition, it's more remote, more close to the visual strat, where we just kind of go and slide kick the plants one by one. As you can see, like, it's very fast, very fluid. There's not much to say, honestly. It's a very simple star. I could talk about some optimizations that I use in Dark Edition compared to blindfolded, but that's like a 1 second difference or something, so I don't think it's a very interesting star. Much more interesting than that is the next stage though, which is TTM, and in my opinion it's the coolest stage in the entirety of Dark Edition. Dark Edition TTM is so incredibly cool. We're quickly gonna grab a Toad Star and then we're gonna go right in. We get 5 stars, so it's a lot of stars that we grab here. There are 2 fast ones and then 3 rather long ones. We're gonna probably start with the box, which is one of the fast stars. Yes, we are starting with a box. I used the blindfolded thread to line up with this. You can see this should work. I hope this works. 2 and through, and he falls down. Was a tiny bit too far. This box jump is like entire, it's not muscle memory, but you need to really hit the correct timing with the box, and you also need a good angle there. So here I messed up again. I fell down way too early, and now I try to back it up with a camera setup that is only possible in visual speedruns, and the backup works perfectly fine, and we get the star finally. Next up, I am very sure we are gonna get the Breeze. The Breeze star, as you might know from the breezeless strat that 120 star runners these days use. We are actually gonna use the Breeze. We can locate ourselves with this 1-up here. I can highly recommend this if you want to run this yourself. The 1-up really helps there, and I'm gonna do a blindfolded beat count strat just to get down here. A very clean star, very fast. It can be very tricky, I think, for casual players to estimate when the ledge ends and when they need to hold back. But yeah, with the blindfolded strat, it is pretty straightforward, I would say. And now I think the 2 coolest stars of the run are upcoming. The TTM Waterfall and Top of the Mountain star. We are using a combination of blindfolded strats with visual strats. Basically, we are doing the fastest possible blindfolded strat here, but there's so much geometry here at this climb that it looks so incredibly cool, I think, when you perform it like in the dark. Like this movement looks so smooth, doesn't it? I think it's really, really cool how this star looks. And then we can locate our distance and position to the ledge with the 1-up, do our backflip strat here, and we are on the top of the mountain. And we're gonna do the exact same star one more time, so if you have missed it, you can see the exact same movement again right now.
Very true.
And now, please focus on this cool movement that I said during the climb. It is one of the newest restrats I've did for 70 star blindfolded, in which we like use a fairly different route to get up the mountain. We used to go all the way up to the highest red coin, but now we kind of align here, do a backflip kick, and then go here to this area where the molds are. And from here we can do like a triple jump dive to slide down the slope and then land here at the Goomba's place. In blindfolded, of course, we cannot use this strat with the 1-up, but it's not needed necessarily. But really clean movement. I really love this movement here in this section.
But we died to the box. So
last star we are gonna grab is the red coin star. And here is one very interesting aspect about Dark Edition, because I was like, when I was creating this hack, I was at a kind of dilemma. Should I make these mushrooms here completely dark, or should I leave the white part on the bottom so you can at least locate yourself a tiny bit? And as you can see, because we can see the stems, it's actually fairly easy to grab the reds. And honestly, I'm very thankful for that, because otherwise this star would be hell. I don't know if it was the good decision or not. Tell me what you think, honestly, but I think we don't need to make it super hard, so I think it was a good decision. But yeah, I just wanted to say the rest of reds was very clean, and now we fell down. And here's a very funny thing that happened with my brain. Because I am so focused and blindfolded, I tried to reclimb, but I can actually see, so I just realized, oh, I can just long jump to the star. I don't need to reclimb all the way to the normalized position. So I actually just do Mario Cam there and long jump to the star at the end. Very quick save. That's the big difference between blindfolded and Dark Edition. Literally, This mistake in Blindfolded would have been a 5-minute time loss or something. The run would be dead. But the Dark Edition, you have eyes, you can just see. And now we are in SL already. I failed the igloo jump. I don't know why I struggle. In Dark Edition I struggle a lot with this jump. But I know the backup, which is the casual way how to get through this. And get the star. Pretty slow, but at least we didn't fail horribly. We'll get 3 more stars. Now here's another change of the route, because we previously did the Vanish Cap star in this stage, inside the igloo. But now we don't have the Vanish Cap anymore, so we cannot do that. So this stage actually will be much shorter than in previous attempts. Bully kill, fairly, I wouldn't say clean, this was pretty average. One of the hardest stars in SL Dark Edition is the head, top of the head star. Because you need to do like very precise wall kicks, and you need to somehow get up to the slope here, which you cannot see. So I use a very particular beat count and I fail because I mistimed my beats in Blindfolded, and I tried to back it up and I get it. This backup was really incredible in my opinion. I now try to locate the ledge to recenter the camera and then do a setup based on that. But that was a really incredible backup in my opinion. Now we are in front of the igloo, and now we perform a few more setups from Blindfolded in order to do precise wall kicks all the way up to the top of the head, to the snowman. And we are on the top. And there's the star, 1 slide kick, and we are done. 1 last star to grab in this stage. And the star is gonna be the lake star, which is in all variations of SM64 the same. We just triple jump up this big slope rock formation here, do a kick and then slide, and then jump over all the way to the end of the lake. That was a very clean star, even with side flip ending, really cool. And that's it for upstairs. Upstairs is done officially. Now, before we go to the last section of the run, I will actually do a little detour and go back to basement, because if you might remember what I said earlier, there's actually a 50-star MIPS as well, so we can get a free star here, and because of that we have skipped Lethal Avaland earlier, LLL, and we're gonna just clean that up now. We're basically gonna grab the MIP star and then finish LLL, and then finally go to the Tippy, the last section of the run.
Aquarium, damn it.
In Lethal Avaland we are grabbing actually a lot of stars. In fact, 6, which is I think the stage with the most stars in the entire run. We get every single star besides 100 coins here. And I'm gonna start with... I wanted to start with the bully, but I forgot that the text box is there, so I switched to a backup strat in which I now perform the log first. For the log I use basically a blindfolded strat because it's very hard to see this arc where you need to triple jump off. Right here. I failed the triple jump once, but that's no problem. If you triple jump from this arc, then you have enough height to reach the star with the wing cap. The casual strat for this is you have to go around all the way and then like roll the log, hence the name. But yeah, it's slow. So yeah, we are doing speedrun strats. Next up, we're gonna do red coins. Red coins is very easy. It's very nice that you can see the coins in Dark Edition. It poses no real problem, besides if you miss that 1 coin like I did.
XCam ends when the streamer...
But yeah, Dark Edition red coins, really clean. We are also gonna do 1 star that is usually not in the 70-star blindfolded route, which is the tiny bullies. The tiny bullies are difficult because we need to get there without getting burned too much. So we need to do a damageless long jump here to the next section, which I here completely failed. I am not allowed to get burned. So what I do is I back it up by going into the volcano and then switching to the volcano star. The volcano star is not that difficult. The problem is, if you fail it once, you are left in complete darkness because all the coins that could guide you potentially are gone. You see, here's like very precise platforming, and if you do it a second, if you fall down and want to do it a second time, it will not be possible anymore. And here I got a very unfortunate angle, very, very bad. Oh my god, we lost like lots of time here actually. Because of the long jump angle I got, I missed the pole, and that sent me all the way back down to the volcano's entrance. But now I will do just a second attempt with a bit faster strategies to climb up. These lava boosts in the beginning are very, very nice and optimized from Blindfolded. And now we are doing the precise platforming again. And hopefully now we will hit the pole correctly. There you go. We got the pole, we got the second pole, and now just go to the star. So yeah, very, very scuffed that I first wanted to do bully, then had to back it up, and then died in the backup, and then just took the star. But all in all, it was still pretty clean, I would say. Now we gonna attempt the tiny bully star again. It's very important that you see this one up. We need to get this long jump here and ledge grab. If we get damaged here, it's basically impossible to reach the tiny bully platform. I did it here completely damageless, but it is very likely that you will die if you take twice damage here. The bully is not really cooperating. I have to fix them a bit, but other than that, very clean. Tiny bullies is a hard star, so very good to get this first try done.
I came up with new strategies for Blindfolded.
Next up, we still have left the big bully, and inside the volcano, the elevator tour. I assume I'm gonna go for the bully first, boil the big bully, and indeed I am. Again, you can try to do the double long jump without getting damage, but you can also just do the straight out blindfolded strat with the beat count. And this was 1-to-1 what I do in Blindfolded, so very fast, very consistent, not much change. If you don't know how to grab the star here in a casual playthrough, you can go up there with multiple ways. If you have health left, if you have some health left, then you can actually just lava boost up there. You can triple jump dive if you are close enough and have enough speed. Or you can do single jumps from these falling platforms as I did. And here I wanted to enter the volcano. I accidentally split by accident. That's why I got a bit panicked. But we have to do the volcano still, and I messed up the entrance. So now I'm gonna do a different strat from Blindfolded. Go all the way up here. I get bounced here by the bully, which is very bad because we get lava burned here. But I still managed to get inside with enough health to do this lava boost right here in front of the elevator. And now we just need to climb some poles. This pole can also be very difficult to see. You can use the balls of this elevator if you are a casual player, but it can be very scary, honestly. And that is LLL. We are at 59 stars. We need 60 to be able to get to 70 in Tippy. So we're actually gonna go, before we go all the way up, we are gonna do a tiny bit of a detour once again and enter JRB, and not JRB, but the aquarium, the secret stage in the JRB lobby. The entrance to the aquarium is located here in this wall, and I always fail this side flip for some reason. But aesthetics. This is like one of the coolest looking stages, I think. It's a very fun fact, but you see these colors out of the windows, right? They are actually in the original game. I did not like import them on purpose. It's just happens that like behind the windows there are these color planes, and I honestly did not know how to remove them, so I just kept them in because it looks super cool. This stage is super easy anyways because you can see the coins. I was thinking maybe we can just make a aesthetic stage. And yeah, red coins, it's not the fastest star in the game, but since it is so easy in Dark Edition, it is a very good pick for the 70-star route, in my opinion. And with that, we have 60 stars and can now finally go to upstairs. Now the routes have officially converged again. You can see I am 4 minutes 37 seconds ahead of my old PB and the old world record. So we are on quite the pace here. It's definitely not the perfect run. I think this can still be improved, but I think my gameplay throughout this whole speedrun was rather solid. The next stage we are gonna enter is Rainbow Ride. And Rainbow Ride features quite a bit of really scary stuff, if I might say so. Also, the entrance to Rainbow Ride is very difficult. As you can see here, it's very hard to find the entrance. The first star we are gonna get is the star on the swing, for which I always do my famous Bubzia cycle for blindfolded speedruns. You can see in this stage everything is kind of really dark, like there are barely any objects that you can see. And here I got really unlucky with the Goomba. The Goomba stand right in my path, so I could not do my fast cycle here that I use in blindfolded. So what I'm gonna do here is wait for another music cycle. There is actually a few ways to check the position of the swing, but I still remembered one backup cycle from like 2 years ago or something, like exactly this one, and it worked out perfectly. So while we had to wait around like 15 to 20 seconds here and take this time loss, it was still very, very good, I think. The next star we are gonna get is the tricky triangles, and that uses the same beginning. We actually recently started to do the triple jump wall kick on the rotating platform in the beginning, but only for reds and for the cruiser star. Also in blindfolded, but I think I am dropping this strat again because it's too inconsistent and it only saves like 4 seconds each time, which of course adds up, but yeah, if you fall down you lose 10, so it's not really worth the risk. But a very clean star here, exactly my blindfolded strat. This is 1-to-1 what I do in blindfolded. The tricky triangles can be really tricky. And next up we are gonna do, I think, the cruiser first. And as you can see, I go for the pole again and not for the triple jump wall kick. I really just found it way too inconsistent. So we're also gonna do the blindfolded route for the cruiser, which is the casual route, just taking the carpet here. There is the strat that is used in visual speedruns as a backup if you fail Lucky to Bounce, which is you climb up the structure where the red coins are, and then from there like long jump wall kick twice, and then you are like on the upper level of the platforms. But yeah, in Dark Edition it's kind of hard and it doesn't save that much time. So just taking the slow carpet right here is actually decent. And then from here we are already up at the cruiser, you can see the wings. And we're doing some more jumps here over these platforms. Rainbow Ride is really difficult. As you can see right there, I fell down for some reason. That's a big time loss. I probably didn't notch my controller correctly, but that was very unfortunate. We have to do this entire ride again. So I lost like a minute here. That was a very painful fall down. Usually you just want to hold left there into the left notch and run towards the star and then long jump up across the gap to the star. But yeah, somehow I held like a tiny bit down left, I think. Actually, it would be interesting to see the input display for that. I haven't paid attention now. But we are already back up again. Fortunately, we didn't really die, so at least we could save a tiny few seconds from not having to re-enter the stage, etc. So here you could see me take it very slow, Z-buffer the left input. But that is the star. Very unfortunate that we fell down all the way at the end, but yeah. Also, a bit of a new route, if you have seen my older speedruns of 70-star Dark Edition. we used to not do the cruiser star, but now the cruiser star is in the route because it's actually fairly fast and also very easy. Last star we're gonna get in Rainbow Ride is Reds. Reds is like standard in every category. I think it's such a staple star. We mostly gonna use the blindfolded strats here. We get the wall kick, triple jump wall kick, so we skip the entire section of going inside there. Reds can be also very interesting, I think, because everything is black besides the reds and it looks very cool. Here I messed up, but I know the backups with the unreferenced wall kick right there, and then we grab this red. So all in all, not a very clean Rainbow Ride. There were every star besides Tricky Triangles had some time loss. I guess the nerfs, if you are on pace, we definitely lost quite a bit of time here. Could have been like 2 minutes faster or something. But hey, maybe next time. We are up to the last stage of the run, which is TTC, TikTok Clock. And we want time stop, of course. Time stop is very, very important. In Dark Edition, TTC is actually not that difficult, in my opinion, because most of the platforms here have this kind of shader lightning going on. So you can't see the platforms, they just disappear if you are too far in the distance. So there are actually many, many reference points to where you are. So TTC is, I personally think, one of the easier stages actually of the entire game. There are definitely harder sections.
That perception is hard.
But we're gonna grab a lot of stars in TTC. One change to the route again. We used to do 100 coins here and 100 coins in Thwomp, but we have replaced those because 100 coins in Dark Edition is still very hard to get fast, and it's just not worth it. So now we're gonna go for the longest star in TTC, which is the bars. And I bonk here, and that's one death. I don't know why I bonked there. I have to check it, because I know it happened also in Blindfolded sometimes that I bonked there. It has to do with like which direction you hold, I think, during the long jump, or like how fast you start the long jump. But I'm very unsure still to this day, so I will definitely have to practice this soon and check it out. And again, the same mistake. Absolutely incredible. The same bonk at the exact same place. Losing lots of time here, unfortunately. Again, like probably a minute time loss just because of that. So I think here I decided just to not do this strat because I know there's a mistake that I cannot fix on the fly. So I'm just taking the right route here over the platforms. And here I'm gonna... Oh, maybe I'm just gonna do a totally different star in general. Yeah, I am first going to get the pendulums now, the pendulum star here. This walk can be pretty tricky, but also nothing too crazy.
I don't understand why he's bonking there, like at all.
I think we have left the bars, reds, and the get a hand star, so 3 stars left in this stage. Let's see which one we are going for. It's always difficult to see which star we are going for first in TTC because all the stars have basically the same movement up to a certain point and then they just diverge in strats. But this is a get a hand star for sure. You can see me here doing the long jump, double long jump, and just all across the map. Perfectly getting into the hole there where the star is. Really, really nice. Okay, only 3 stars left for the run. 2 of them in TTC.
I'm mad.
As always, we're waiting for time stop here. Time stops exactly when the clock is pointing at the number 12. And here I think I'm going... Yeah, here I'm going now the right side for the bar star because I had enough of the bonking with the long jump. So here I'm doing the side flip. Nearly dying here. Oh my god, that was very, very scuffed. And then we are here. Basically, this bonk would get us like right to this position, so it's a bit faster if we go the left side, but yeah, if you are not practiced enough, then I guess mistakes can happen. So, we are already all the way up here. We just need to do like a few long jumps, and then we are here. One unreferenced wall kick. Boom. And we are in there. Perfect. Very, very good. This TTC was pretty clean in general so far, besides the 2 bonks and the 2 deaths. Besides that, it was okay. So you can see now on the splits the time is already bleeding a bit. But yeah, it always happens at the end of a speedrun. The nerfs coming in, the time is starting to bleed. It's, I think, a pretty normal process, especially if the run is not so optimized yet. Red coins, very clean, very fast. We just go here, do some side flips, get all the coins. And that is the last star of a stage that we're gonna get in the speedrun. 4 minutes ahead of the world record right now. We are at 69 stars, just having 1 star left, which is very conveniently right here at the Toad. Easiest star of my life. And then we are heading to Bubzia. Now, for those who don't know, Bubzia in the sky is probably one of the hardest parts of the stage, of the game. And especially like in Dark Edition, where many things are not visible. I seen many, as I said earlier, Fire Sea and Bubzia in the Sky are like probably the hardest parts of the run. And you will see why. I am basically using 100% my blindfolded strat here because it's just pure darkness here, and you would need like incredible muscle memory in order to perform the stage well without like blindfolded knowledge. And like even, I guess it's still kind of muscle memory if you know the blindfolded strat. But yeah, you cannot see elevators, that's the big problem, and you need to catch at the end and here in the beginning cycles for the elevators. So it can get very, very difficult if you don't know what you're doing. Now we are gonna go for left side, as also in blindfolded nowadays. Standing left side, triple jump, wall kick around this platform here. And nailed it, perfect. And we also gonna go for elevator skip because, as I said earlier, the cycles of the elevators and we don't know them. So, perfect elevator skip, first try. And that was a absolute beautiful and perfect Bubzia in the Sky. Now all that is left, all that is between a new world record and me is 3 Bubzia throws. Which I notoriously am known for being very bad at. I think every SM64 runner is though. So, can he get it? That is 1. Missed the quick tail grab.
What?
And missed the repunch. That is very, very scuffed.
No!
Ooh, missed the throw. Just very barely. One or 2 frames too early. And the scary part about Bubzia 3 is if he destroys the platform, you don't know where the platform ends. So you kind of just have to be very careful and close to him. But that's throw number 2. Again, missing the tail grab. I am very bad at this. And another horrible throw. At this point, it doesn't really matter anymore. It's just for the memes, honestly. But yeah, very clean Bubzia, and that's it. 3 out of 3 throws, 2 missed ones. Honestly, 2 missed ones is not too bad. It's pretty bad, but it's not too bad. And that is not blindfolded. This is Dark Edition 70 star, ladies and gentlemen. 1 hour, 13 minutes, 27 seconds. Let's go. This is the current world record, and yeah, honestly, a decent run. I wouldn't say this is not improvable. Definitely it is. If you look at my sum of best, it's 105. So we can easily save another minute, like couple of minutes actually, with all the deaths and stuff. But I'm for now done with this. I will probably return to this category next year at some point, because I also want to grind 120 star in this game. But for now, I'm happy with this run. I am happy enough to share this with you, especially upload finally a PB of me. I've grinded this, as I said, for like 1 or 2 weeks now, and had a good time. And especially exciting is that I learned new blindfolded strats with grinding Dark Edition, which is like so nice. I think this is like so incredible.
Thanks for all the GDs.
But yeah, that was Dark Edition. Thank you very, very much for watching. I really, really appreciate you and all the support you give me with my speedruns. I want to also give a big shoutouts to my Patreons, Benlitz, Boris, Bob Farrell, Funkylicious, VR4300, ZXMany, and Kevin. And that's honestly all I want to say. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day. See you around. And leave a like and subscribe. Bye bye. Thank you.